Wagwan, Wagwan. Hey, it's your boy Big Truck. Let me know if you in the house. Let me know if you in the building. Put a number one in the chat. So I know you feeling me. I know you here. I know you alive. I know you well. On on this holy Shabbat Saturday. Doing things the way it's supposed to be done, doing it big. We got some things to unravel, to talk about. In case you already know, um, you know, we lost an influencer. I'm also live on YouTube and live on Rumble. We lost an influencer and what's her name? Janae, rather. We got some things to talk about because it's sparked up some controversy. It sparked up some controversy. And people are talking. Y'all know when the streets talk, what happens, how that goes, and all of that. Um, to be honest with you, as I'm looking here on some things, checking some things out right quick. And let's see here. Ashley Janae, you know, Ashley Janae, her transitioning. I like to call it transitioning. Some say she, unalived herself. Others say other things. But one of the things that I like to talk about, of course, many, how modern black women find it some way to put the blame on men, especially black men, for not protecting, for not coming to the aid of, not speaking up for. Here's the thing. I don't co-sign crazy. It wasn't until individuals started doing their research. And what do I always highlight? You got to look into things instead of looking at things. Her history wasn't bright. The awful things, disrespectful things, can y'all hear me? That she said towards black men. I'm gonna turn my mic up. That she has said towards black men were not cool at all. But yet, hey, black men stood on business and sat on chrome. And now, here's all this hatred. Here's all this bullshit being thrown on men. So, without further ado, all right, without further ado, we're going to listen to what these brothers has to say, and we're going to have an adult conversation about this whole thing. Grab your shoulder pads and your helmet. If you haven't already done it, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the hype button. It's the new feature that YouTube has. Shout out to YouTube. Grab your shoulder pads and your helmet, and let's get this work. Let's go.
Obviously, today's topic is the death of Ashley Janae. She was 31 years old, lifestyle influencer. Ashley Robinson was her original name. Her Ashley Janae was her online name. Apparently, she passed or died right around April 10th this year while she was on a trip to Zanzibar, Tanzania with her fiance, Joe McCann. Strangely enough, me and my wife actually went on our honeymoon to that exact same location, which is very interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Zanzibar, Tanzania, yeah. In terms of the circumstances of her death, just a couple quick initial reports to kind of bring us up to speed. With the initial incident, Robinson was found unconscious in her villa at the Zuri Zanzibar Resort and was later pronounced dead at a local hospital. The trip, the couple was in Tanzania, obviously to celebrate both her 31st birthday as well as their engagement, which had taken place April 5th, just days before her death. There was apparently reports of supposed issues that resulted in a massive argument, which resulted in hotel management having to separate them and place them in different rooms. The official reports versus the family investigation. Local authorities.
I would like to know what took place in that room. What took place? Something must have had happened to the point where they had to be separated. I know. Inquiring minds want to know. Let's continue.
Initially, we're stating that Robinson had died by suicidal, actions, and specifically alleging that she hanged herself inside her hotel room. The family has some skepticism, reportedly. Her family and close friends, including her PR specialist, Savannah Britt, have publicly challenged that claim, calling her passing suspicious. And they believe Robinson was in a positive mental state following her engagement and demanding a full investigation. Up until today, up until that point, Joe McCann hadn't really been, he had not been detained. But apparently we have a new news update that we're going to play, and then the gentlemen are going to each share their initial thoughts of finding out about this news.
Update on the death of model and influencer Ashley Robinson. She went by Ashley Janae online. I obtained video of a news conference today in Tanzania in which officials say they are holding Joe McCann for questioning and they are holding his passport while police wait for the postmortem. We have been unable to reach Joe McCann. Now, yesterday I reported on this story. You may recall Robinson was on vacation of a lifetime in Zanzibar, an island off the coast of Tanzania, and
Did that tiger know something? I mean, correction. Did that lion know something? Look how that lion looked. That lion was walking off. You notice the lion wasn't walking with them. He was walking ahead of them. I'm just saying, animals can sense things too. Let's continue.
Africa. She was there to celebrate her 31st birthday with her boyfriend of about a year and a half, according to the family. Joe McCann proposed to her on that trip, but last week, something went terribly wrong. Police say Robinson was found unconscious in her villa and was rushed to the hospital, where she was later pronounced dead. Now, her parents received a call from McCann saying that something had happened, but they say it was the resort that told them about the death of their child. Again, the new information today, officials say they are holding Joe McCann for questioning and are holding his passport.
All right, fellas. We can start. Well, let's start with Dave, man. What are you thinking? What you thinking?
You know, I've seen a lot of things, Jeff, on the internet the past few days just regarding this. And the first thing I want to say is, can we just stop being fake deep for 5 minutes? A woman is dead. Her family deserves real answers. And the last thing I want to do is turn this into a tragedy with gossip and microphones.
I agree. I totally agree. And can we please stop blame shifting? Black women, can you please stop finding a way to use this situation as a way to throw flame on black men? Because I'm going to tell you something. Y'all are not liking it when black men are barking back. Y'all not liking it at all. Y'all didn't have this same energy when the brother got unalived by the white woman that he was in a relationship with or dating. Y'all didn't have this same energy. It was like y'all carried more hatred for that black man because of who he chose. Okay? But yet, what about questioning the situation? Okay? Ashley Janae said some terrible, harmful, disrespectful things towards black men. Your preference who you date is your preference who you date. I mean, there's so many ways to go about this. But can we please stop with the BS? Because I'm seeing it on social media. Any chance modern woman, black woman gets, want to throw flame on black men. This has nothing to do with race. Let's continue.
The thing that I want to say is that you cannot spend years dehumanizing black men and then expect those same black men to become your emergency grief choir on command.
You want black men to come save you. You want black men to come support you. You want black men to come stand with you. But yet, these are the same women that throw flame on black men. Everything that has been written concerning black men and black women and this whole division, it's going as planned.
Sympathy is human. Forced mourning is propaganda. And a whole lot of people online do not have principles. They just have favorite victims. I don't have a dog in the fight other than to say that when we start to diminish one group of individuals for another group of individuals as if that's better, we find ourselves in situations like this that are completely divisive, unnecessary, and downright evil. And my whole thing is, this is not a time to put on team jerseys. This is a time to reevaluate the game. And I'll land there for now.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. obviously people have been pushing and saying like, oh, y'all need to react to this. Y'all need to say something about this. And the things that I was seeing was exactly what you kind of noted, Dave, in terms of, this is just a complicated case. This isn't a simple somebody passed. This is how we're all supposed to react and respond. There's obviously a lot more things that we're going to be bringing.
And this is also what I've seen, a way for a large number of women, especially Black women, to just continuously throw flame on Black men, continuously throw Black men under the bus, continuously make themselves up here and treat Black men like they down here. This is what I've been seeing. And to me, it's just like my man's in them said, it's evil and it's disrespectful. But yet, you talk about Black men don't approach you. You talk about where's all the good men at. You talk about how come men aren't taking you out on dates. This is the fucking reason why. This bullshit right here. On one side of your breath, you talking shit about men, especially Black men. You emasculating men, especially Black men. You speaking evil and wickedness against men, especially Black men. But on the other side of your breath, you want these same men, especially Black men, to save your ass, to protect your ass, to be there for your ass. It's not all about you, fucking Stu.
Up over the course of the show. But Mumia, what about you?
Since I am the senior man here, and not only in age, but also in terms of, I guess you could say, being one of the OGs of the Black manosphere, I just need to say this for the record. We're going to have a very difficult discussion because of the material that you referenced, Jeff. We all talked about this before going live tonight, but I just want to set the tone for now. Expressing my deepest condolences to the parents of the late Miss Ashley Janae, Mr. and Mrs. Robinson.
Of course, we pay our respect, to the family of Ashley Janae, just like the brother that was unalive. We pray for him and his family as well. We always want to pay homage across the board to those. It's not about picking side or one or the other. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And like I highlighted before, who in the blue face hell are you to swear to beans that an individual is guilty if your ass wasn't there? I guess common sense ain't so common with certain individuals. Find out what the deal is before you react. Let the authorities conclude their investigation. Once they conclude their investigation and they have all the facts, that's going to lead you to your answer, whether he's guilty or not guilty. We don't know, so we just say respectfully, alleged.
I've been looking at, there's a GoFundMe and all that set up to facilitate the return of her remains back to the United States, final expenses and things of that nature. I don't have children of my own, but I can I can't even imagine.
Like I said, look at the lion. Why is the lion walking off like that? Does that lion know something that we don't know? Because you know animals can pick up on spirits and thing and evilness and wickedness too.
Losing a child, especially in the manner in which this happened. I mean, this is all playing itself out on the internet, and I can't.
Even the lioness, even the lion said this was not a good idea. It was not a good idea. Something's definitely wrong here.
My heart goes out to her parents, man.
Mhm.
And wow. I mean, there's a lot to be said. Like you said, it's very complex. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this, but I just want to say to my brothers in the Black Manosphere online, wherever you are, I understand where you're coming from. I do. But we can't allow our feelings to override the humanity of this sister and the grief that her parents are going through. I think we all can extend grace to that extent. And that's what
I agree. And also I want to say to the Black men, this is the time to bridle your tongue. I know that a large number of women or modern women lashing out, making these videos, these TikTok videos, lashing out. But I'm saying to my kings, this is the time where you just sit still. Let them talk. Like I've always said, you let a person talk long enough, they will expose who they are. They will tell on themselves. Don't go back and forths. Don't be rude and disrespectful. Simply pick up your shoulder pads and your helmet and move. Being silent will kill anything that is loud.
I would hope for.
All right, what about you, Darn?
Shout out to Rockstar, by the way.
First of all, my condolences goes out to the family members. I don't know if they had kids or anything like that. Anybody related to the woman who passed? It's got to be tough. Losing a life, regardless of content, regardless of what anybody said, losing a life is tough. I think she was very young. She probably had a whole lot of years ahead of her. And I think this setting right here with us, the men's table, I think now we got the opportunity to showcase that we're very different in how we handle matters like this.
Not only that, but you have the men's table, you have the king's table. This is why I chose, and shout out to my man Dexter for shedding light on this, sharing this video with me. Because when in this day and age that we're in right now, when you have men, especially Black men, that are able to come to the table with a problem and leave with a solution, it's always going to be amazing. But when you are able to have an adult conversation about things that need to be talked about or certain events that took place, that's powerful in itself. And it goes to show the wisdom of that man or men when they're able to sit down at the table and have an adult conversation. That's why I call it locker room conversations. As a former professional athlete, that's what we did. Problems and concerns. We had a conversation in the locker room. And the things that we talked about in the locker room stayed in the locker room. It didn't go elsewhere. Let's continue.
We've seen how those who oppose us as far as ideology political views or whatever can be very, very ugly towards somebody passing. One example would be Kevin Samuels. But me and us who honor him and appreciate the things that he brought into the space, we wouldn't dare do something like that on the opposing side. On the opposing side, as far as like a tit for tat or something like that. So I think this is our opportunity to show that, you know, we're the bigger heroes in this situation, and we can effectively, you know, react. We can look at the details.
And the thing is, ladies, you can't say men don't understand. We understand. You know, I always tell people live your best life, because you will never know when your name will be called. And once your name is called, it doesn't matter who you are, what you have, or whatever the case may be. Once your name is called, that's it. It's time to go. But in the meantime, while you here, alive, breathing, able to wake up and see another day, cherish that. You know? And what I'm seeing on my end during this rough time is the way men are handling it versus the way that you have some women handling it. Because I've seen the way some women are handling it. It's quite disturbing, especially the things that they are saying. For every action is a reaction. But I say during this time, one of the best advice that I can give or like to give or share with the men is this: peace be still. Peace be still. Don't feed into it. Yes, they're going to talk. Yes, they're going to say whatever. Don't feed into it. But still stand your ground.
Details, look at what happened, and still be sensitive towards the family members and respect the family members during this time, during their grieving. And that separation between the other side is key, because it actually sheds light on, I lost somebody this past week. That's why, I kind of struggle to get on here.
Oh,
And,
wow. Sorry to hear
I'm
that.
still feeling it too. So forgive me if I get a little bit more oversensitive in this situation, because I got something going on myself. But I still
Sorry,
wanted to
dog.
be here.
Sorry, bro.
But see, this is what it's about. Where men can gather around, men can huddle up, men can share, men can be who they are. Men, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel something. But when you have a group of men that surround you, comfort you, pray for you, motivate you, help you, that is a powerful thing. Let you be you. I think oftentimes men are not allowed to be their authentic self. Men should be allowed to be in a place, in a space where they can be who they are, feel how they feel, release how they release. Word up.
Brother. It's okay.
I'm gonna just pass the mic on that for right now.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah, man, we appreciate the fact that you're willing to still show up and do this.
Absolutely.
I just had my funeral for my cousin on Saturday, and death for me is very, very present right now. It's kind of raw, and like all of you have said, especially Obsidian and Dave, I think when you lose someone recently, you can understand and see the callousness of how some people move, both obviously in comparison to the Kevin situation.
I mean, I've had teammates transition. I've had people in my, I think for me, as far as a teammate goes, once when I was in college, and another was a good buddy of mine, Sean Taylor. And many of y'all know who Sean Taylor is, and he's a Florida boy and, played for the Washington Redskins. And it was hard when you have people close to you I even had mentors. So I get it, it's just a certain way that we grieve and how we deal with things. People deal with things differently. People grieve differently. Okay? So when we talk about Ashley Janae and we're talking about her family and we talk about what's going on and what has happened during this time, yes, we pay respect. And yes, we look into things with understanding so that we're not missing anything. I love it when men come together. I love it when men come together and sit down like kings and have conversations rather than, deleting each other, hating on one another. We be there for one another. We uplift each other. You don't never know what an individual is going through until you take the time to have a conversation with.
And other situations that which we'll touch on in this particular situation as well. I have met and knew of some people prior to that were not only connected with her, but related to her in South Jersey. So, there were some people who obviously reached out to me and, wanted to make it known, that they had some concerns about me and us even covering it. I said, we're content creators, so we are going to cover it. And we're going to cover it honestly, the good and the bad that comes with it. The most important thing is kind of what Darwin alluded to and Obsidian as well is I don't want us to end up mimicking and looking and sounding like the people who saw the death of a Black man as a point to celebrate. And that was, to me, the thing that definitely opened up my eyes to what the initial thing we're going to be talking about, which is the concept of this divester movement. Of course, we want this young woman and any woman for that perspective to be able to be still here, still alive, not victimized, not attacked, all the normal stuff. But this underbelly subculture of anger and hatred specifically for and towards Black men, was Ashley Janae the worst example of what I've seen with some of the comments? No.
No, we've all seen worse and heard worse. But again, it plays its part. What do I mean by it plays its part? How? It's always been a thing of division between Black man and Black woman. It's always been a thing of Black woman emasculating, disrespecting the Black man. It's always been wishing it was a woman's world than a man's world. It has always been, even to the point where individuals try to change the word of the Torah, Bible, for many, and to twist it to their narratives. If Yeshua was a woman, I mean, this whole hatred towards men, especially Black men, we knew it came from feminism. But if you trace it back, Black women followed something that they had no business following in the first place, because feminism wasn't meant for you. You just followed something, tweaked it, twisted the words around, the narratives around, and look what you have. This division, unnecessary division. Okay? What the Black family household is very strong, very dominant. And I use the two illustrations of The Cosby Show and Good Times. When you look at the man, when you look at the masculine man, when you look at James Evans from Good Times, he didn't play. When you look at Bill Cosby, he showed that a Black man and a Black woman can have it all, can do great things, can keep a tight household together, and being a doctor or being a lawyer. You can look at Florida Evans, James Evans, poor, low income, but still kept the family household together. We can't say we don't have that in today, but it's rare because of the things that we see in real time, day-to-day basis. When we talk about keeping a strong family knit household together, where you have Black man and Black woman both doing their part.
We're going to show what some of her comments were that she made, and why it was that perhaps I think a lot of ladies find themselves into this space. And then we'll kind of react and respond to initially what is the psychology behind, what's the reasons for why some of these ladies are indeed going down this path of this is going way past just, I'm just open to dating anyone. It's a very specific like anger towards Black men and them believing that.
I wouldn't even say anger. I would turn it up another notch. I would say hatred towards Black men. It's almost like, I hate you. I hate Black men. I wish they were never born. I wish they would all burn in hell. You might as well say that. Because look at your actions. Look at your behavior.
The alternative or answer to that is, for lack of a better word, white men. So the initial quote that I'm going to put up here, that a lot of people there was a couple that she's referenced, and this was one of them, which was actually not that long ago when she stated this. She quoted in response to somebody, "Oh brother, I see a 305 in your bio. Let's talk about all the Miami men that's not white beating their women still, or is that too touchy? Go live your life while I live mine." Undoubtedly, this individual more than likely made a comment about the fact that she was in an interracial relationship. And unfortunately, this was her reaction and response to the individual obviously she was responding to. And the secondary quote that I'm going to highlight is this one. There's nothing like men who let you rest in your femininity, obviously referencing feminine energy, obviously the man that she was with. And then the second piece was, every day Black men wake up and find new ways to embarrass us.
See, you see what I'm saying? We're not going to gloss over the hurtful, disrespectful things that she has said. To me, in my opinion, that's being racist. Every time, anytime that an individual will disrespect and put down their own race to uplift another, to me, that's racist. Please let me know in the chats. I got both chats open. Please feel free, let your soul speak. Put a number 1 in the chat as people chime in. I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on Rumble. I mean, for real, for real. These are the things that this sister was saying about black men. That's like me. Those know my story. Those know my situation. I was married for 14 months and I got done dirty. I'm talking about to the point where I was homeless. Still went to work. Okay. Still helped out with bills and stuff because I believe in fighting for your marriage. Okay. Divorce, final, everything done. That's like me saying all black women will do me dirty like my ex did. And then have a few other black women say, that's not true. I don't know you. And feel some type of way. So because of what this woman did to me, I'm going to put the charge on all black women and I'm going to start dating me a woman outside my race. And I'm going to uplift that woman, whoever I'm with, that is outside my race. And disrespect and downplay the woman of my same race. That's wrong. That is wrong. Now, there's nothing wrong with changing your preference, having a preference, but don't sit up there and disrespect and cutthroat your own, especially from the individuals you chose.
Now, these are just some of the quotes I found, but she built an entire platform talking for pretty much a decade, reportedly, talking about how black women en masse should move away from black men completely. White men are the answer. Apparently, they're not beaters.
She said white men are the answer. So could it be a sugar baby with a sugar daddy? I'm just saying. Sometimes that goes wrong. I'm putting all possibilities out there on the table. Hey, it is what it is. But that seems to be the thing now. You want to get more traction on social media? Put down the black man. Talk shit about the black man. Emasculate the black man. Destroy the black man's credibility. Emasculate him. Assassinate that black man's character. You'll get more views. You will get likes. Shit is real, son.
They're apparently just better in all ways, shapes, and form. And unfortunately, now she's gone. Before we get to the psychology of how and why you think so many of our women are ending up like this and starting to think this way, what did you guys think about the initial quotes that we saw on the screen? Popcorn style, anybody can jump in.
Anybody want to jump in here?
You got it, brother. I'll come after you.
Yeah. So it was brought to my attention by a number of brothers that follow me on social media. I have very meticulous followers, brothers that, I mean, it's not unusual for something like this to happen. And brothers, multiple of them, dozens of them, will send me entire files of content that a particular individual may have done. And that was what happened here. I was
like a lot of my followers come from either the Middle East or the Caribbean, right? And I have some followers here in the US. But even in my comments, I have some of the followers saying, man, does that happen in the US? Does that really happen over there? Do people really treat people that way? Say, yeah. Man, we don't do that over here. You see, I understand every place, every country, every universe is different. But the stuff that individual Americans do to each other, regardless of skin color, is sad. But what race sticks out like a sore thumb? Black men and women, their behavior, their characteristics, the things that they do and say, how they conduct themselves, how they move. A large number of individuals don't want to say the quiet thing out loud.
Sent, screenshots of the late Miss Ashley Janae's posts and whatnot across social media, X and Instagram, so on and so forth, dating back to 2015. Okay. So we're not, it's one thing, you see this happened a week ago or something like that. Fair. How do you explain this over the almost a dozen years? Mm-hmm. How do you explain it? That is a sustained pattern. I mean, that's pretty much my entire career in the Black manosphere. I got started in 2015. I mean, this is a career move. She's made career statements repeatedly since 2015 that I've seen, that I reviewed over the past few days.
So these statements that she has made it loud and clear, crystal clear, with no caffeine, no weed, no seed, no stress, that she hates Black men. All it took was for one. Then you had, it was like a chain reaction. Because I'm reading the stuff that she had to say about Black men and the comments agreeing with her statements about Black men. And I'm sitting here like, but these are the same heifers. Shit go wrong to them. They wonder why men don't come help them. They wonder why men don't approach them. They wonder why, hell, men won't even sleep with them. But yet, look at what you're saying about Black men and responding to about Black men.
So this isn't a one-off. Like, if that was just a one-time, one-shot deal, I'd just like, okay, whatever. This isn't a one-off. This is a sustained pattern. And so that contributes to the discourse. And it coarsens it. It's corrosive. I mean, Jeff, look, the manosphere is under the spotlight these days, mainly on the white side. Mm-hmm. But there have been those who have said that the Black manosphere and yours truly have made statements over the years that go beyond the pale. Right? And what I would say to that is nothing we've said, nothing I've said, I got 4 books, nothing I've said competes with what I've heard on the other side, if you will, the divester or swirler or Black women's empowerment. You can kind of toss in these various descriptors. It pales in comparison to it's tame compared to what these ladies have said. I mean, there are images of Black men hanging from trees. There are content creators who openly call for the mass Roe v. Wading, if you will, of black male babies. There are just the statements are just so beyond the pale. I'm like flabbergasted by how it's been able to go on this long. And so you have this type of activity by this young lady who's now deceased going on for so long. I mean, they're ready to ban us for anything. They're ready to run us off YouTube, run us off of this platform, run us off of that platform for the slightest thing. I mean, we've dealt with this, you know.
Anytime you have, especially a black man, telling the truth, and other individuals know what he's saying is the truth, the fact that he's speaking it, get ready to get canceled. It's almost like black men that have been in the dark for so long, now they're in the light and they see things clearer. They see things different than before. It's almost like now they know who they are and whose they are. They've embraced that and they walk in it. They walk in their truth. They walk in their masculinity. It's a problem. It was okay when that black man didn't know. It's okay when that black man was a simp, was a fool. It was okay when you was taking advantage and using that black man. But now when the tables have turned, you don't like it. It's a problem. I'm going to let that marinate.
And I'm not going to go into it here, but we've dealt with this sort of thing in-house. We've been touched by this. But this sort of thing is allowed to proliferate, I mean, for over a decade with impunity. I mean, and we're not supposed, and you know, the thing that really bothers me about this is in Black American discourse, Black women have cultural license to say the most outrageous things. And we're all supposed to just act like we don't hear it or just pretend like it's not nothing.
But when a black man turns right around and play that reverse Uno card, the same fingers that black women use to point at men, those black men start pointing them same fingers back at them. They don't like it. They get butthurt. They get in their feelings. They get in their emotions. They get pissed.
We're just supposed to just take it, basically. Black men. They can say whatever they want, as egregious as possible. We're just supposed to just act like that doesn't mean anything. So I'm very ambivalent in this moment because on the human in me sees the power watching Miss Janae's father. He's clearly pained by all of this. But then on the other side, I'm looking at over a decade of posts by his daughter. And I have to wonder, you know, in that whole thing, Netflix had a TV program called Adolescence, right? And it was supposed to be dealing with the incel problem, what's going on with young boys, what happened with the parents, etc. Fair enough. That's fair game. I have to ask, with all due respect, to Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, what was going on with your daughter to where for over a decade she's making these posts?
That's a damn good question. Would it be safe to say that didn't just happen? Ashley Janae didn't wake up one morning and say, I have a hatred towards black men. I hate black men. Because when I look into her photos, you can look at her and tell she was touched as a child. It's just something about an individual that has been touched as a child. They have a certain look. They have a certain aura. What was her childhood? What was going on in her childhood? Let's start there. You want to get to the root of the problem? Go back where it began.
About black men. When her own father is black, what was going on in the home to lead to something like that? Something is seriously awry. Now, my understanding is that they're not together. Mr. and Mrs. Robinson are no longer together. Mrs. Robinson went on to remarry. She did remarry a man who happens to be white. My understanding is that they had children together. Maybe that's got something to do with it. I don't know. All I know is,
and to my understanding, she pumped that into her daughter. Go get your white man. She poured that seed into her daughter. See, I got to look at the parents. What's going on with them parents? Something is off. When you sit back and you begin to connect the dots, the more dots you connect, that's going to lead you to your truth.
this sister is making these statements over a decade in length. It's documented. You don't have to take my word for it. You can look it up for yourself. It dates back to 2015. What was going on in the home?
When you say, go ahead, Dave.
I didn't mean to cut him off. How come Black women aren't having this conversation? How come Black women aren't talking about this as women? But yet, what we hear, a lot of shaming Black men. Yeah, girl, I'm going to give me a white man too. It doesn't matter about the race. This can happen to anyone. My question would be, how come y'all didn't have this much energy for the brother that was deleted by a white woman that he was in a relationship with?
I'm gonna let you go, and then hopefully we can just.
Yeah, no, we're going to keep it pushing. I've always said you can't divorce the fruit of a thing from the root of a thing. You're not going to plant an apple tree and get peaches. It's just not going to happen. Behavior that is hateful is either observed or taught or experienced. Having said all of that, I think it's important to understand that we can hold somebody's choices and say these choices were not good and still say they did not deserve to die.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that when we talk about some of the misandrist vitriol that comes out of a lot of these individuals throughout this discourse that takes place, they are not as, I'm trying to find the right way to say this, as young, as in shape, as attractive as this young lady was. They are usually slack-jawed North American big backs. And as a result, they want you to accept them just as they are. And then when you don't, you're everything but a child of God. And then there is so much accountability for any little misstep a man makes, but there's not that same level of standard or accountability for any misstep a woman makes, especially on this side of the tracks. And I think it's important to understand that, to Obsidian's point, you're not allowed to critique them at all. Never in your entire life. If we were to take all of our ages, we're about 200 together, right? So
He just said it. We're not allowed to critique women, but it's okay for women to critique men. To be honest with you, anybody can critique anybody. The reason why a large number of women don't like it when man critiques them is because man is going to put the truth out there. Large number of women don't like accountability. Large number of men going to hold their ass to the fire.
when is the last time you've ever sat around, or we've sat around and said, well, a real woman would do this? That's not, when we say you're acting masculine, oh, we everything but it's you. Is your mama masculine? And so I do agree that it is hard and horrible to watch somebody beat you down verbally. And I will say this. I have a daughter who I love more than I can put into words, who is about this little girl's age. I love my daughters, especially my oldest. Like when I was driving, a 96 Honda Civic and going to speaking engagements, that was my road dog. I could carry her over my shoulders and take her places with me and put her to bed, And
I like what this brother said here in these brothers' comments. I'm going to read it out. This is the difference between how these brothers handle a death of someone who hated black men and how a lot of people act when Kevin Samuels and that brother got unalived by the white chick. Yeah. Yeah. They said some hurtful things towards black men. I've never met Kevin Samuels, but I've had 2 phone conversations with him. But again, you may not have liked what he had to say for the most part, but for the most part, he made good sense. Anytime when it's a black person and they stand up for something that is righteous and real and truth, something bad always got to happen to him. His character always got to get assassinated. Sometimes they will use black women to tear down the black man. Black women to assassinate black men's character. Black women to destroy the black man.
And now she's grown. She's got a young man that I think she's going to wind up marrying. Never have I ever heard her say the things I hear these women say on the internet. And I think that's because both her mother and I, for all of our faults, show what it means to have a functional relationship. Not perfect, not Brady Bunch, not the Huxtables, but we demonstrate what to do, and we also demonstrate what not to do, and then how.
Yes, my homegirl Messi Michaelin did that. She just tweeted that her mom, I knew it, her mom orchestrated and insisted that she date with a white man. Because mom is with one. Get you a white man. Leave these niggas alone. Leave these black men alone. I know how the lingo goes. Black men ain't shit. I'll say it doesn't matter what color, but I will say this. Keep dancing with the devil. One day he gonna follow you home.
How to fix the mistakes. We don't walk around like we're both walking on water and healing palsy children. I think this level of entitlement where in one breath, the community and 50% of our community that happen to have ovaries will say they're strong and they're independent and they're so educated, but they want a provider on the first date and they want, all of these things. Those things don't make sense to me, because if we were to walk around and I was to say to you, I have a master's in divinity, I've got an MBA, I've got 3 bachelor's degrees, I have been on this show, I have done these things, I was doing this when I was 9 years old. Curly Neal called me the second coming of broadcasting when I was a kid. Does any of that make me more attractive? Or is it just a resume read for my own ego's sake? So everybody's clocking everything, but no.
A resume read for your ego's sake. And that's what a large number of women do, especially black women do. That's why you hear men say, all that shit, it's important, it's good, but it's not the only thing. What value do you bring to the table? What value do you bring to a relationship?
Nobody is really taking any time to process, to think about the damage that words can do. See, I could sit here and I could physically beat you and those wounds would heal. But the scars that have been left on our men, specifically our boys, because so many have made bad choices and then punish the boys for it.
I'm going to go a step further. The punishment, even with black men, period. The scars. Words hurt. Like a brother just said, words do more damage than physical. And when you have black women damaging black men by the words that come out their mouth, tear down black men by the words that come out of their mouth. Black men treated like shit by black women. And you wonder why those same black men go elsewhere. And those other race of women see how the black woman treat them. And they open up their doors to that black man and welcome them in. And that black man's going to go where he's appreciated and celebrated, not tolerated.
And then lastly, you decided that Pookie, Ray Ray, Earl, Craig, and Lamondre, or better yet, Chadwick, who happened to have the bag for whatever reason, but still dogged you out, left you with something that you weren't prepared for. And you say this person is now not worthy of you. You're automatically celibate, but then you come with baggage that we're supposed to take, and there's no carry-on space on the plane we're going on. And because we want to move from that, we're wrong. So in this moment, I want someone to be able to reflect on how great it is when you get with somebody palm colored and then this tragedy happens. How wonderful it is to get with somebody who allows you to rest in your feminine, but all of a sudden may or may not have taken 11 hours to inform your family of what happened. I think we need to really start looking at the facts objectively and start saying to ourselves, maybe what we need is to come together with a little bit more understanding and a whole lot less, I ain't doing this, Rasputia, how you doing energy. And I give it to.
And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave a copy of this footage in the description, and you can watch the rest of the content. Beautiful discussion, amazing discussion. And I'm going to start doing more content like this, actually, to show what it's like when you have black men at the table, kings at the table, conversating, having an understanding and overstanding, and being an adult about things. That's what we need more of. And I also want to encourage more men to do the same. Start having them conversations with each other. Start checking in with each other. Hey, my brother, how you doing? How you feeling today? How is your mental health? Are you good? Are you okay? Do you need anything? You need a ride to the store. Hey, man, I have an extra few dollars. Here you go if you need it. When we start doing that, man, that's a powerful thing. But until then, I love you all. Be the best version of yourselves. And like I said, during this time, men, especially black men, sit in peace. Don't go back and forth with women. Just sit in peace, observe, and continue to live your best life daily. It's your boy, Big Truck. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and hype the video. Like the video. I'm gone. One.